I just want to say another example of what I meant by my mom will change her story, what will play to her of what she wants. Uh, when I was growing up, I remember she didn't mind saying my dad was abusive. Um, it played off in a sense to give her the attention she wants. And now that we're adults, it's like she um, won't admit that he's abusive. And in fact, she'll act like he was the perfect guy. And it's like, well, sort of. She'll admit he's abusive or manipulative or liar when it's being done to her or being done to my baby sister. But when it's being done to me, she completely denies it altogether. Honestly, I think she just targets one person to create drama with so she can just lash out. I've said I think she has some sort of sense of addiction to drama and chaos. Um, and using and abusing a person to just release all her pain on and her frustration on. It used to be my sister. My sister was rebellious, so she was an easy target. Uh, you know, she could use that to her advantage to release all her stress on my sister. Now that my sister is gone, she took advantage to release it all on me. Um, I think she finds it more difficult, though, to get people to believe her. Now that I realize a lot of people did notice something was up and it wasn't right. Um, so, I don't think she finds it as easy to target me and actually be believed that I'm rebellious and some sort of a brat, as she did with my sister, because my sister, she challenged everything about my mom, and my mom was challenging, they were both challenging. So it was easier to target my sister and release her frustrations on because anybody could see my sister was rebellious. It wasn't too difficult to target her then. Um, as for me, people get to, at first they see me in a leather jacket and in a bandana. And, if I admit a lot of people at first sometimes are apprehensive. They're like, oh, it's one of them. And then they get to know me, and they sometimes describe me as bubbly and smiling and, just a very friendly person. So, uh, you know, at first, if they don't get to know me and they're just a judgmental person, well, then it's easy for them to believe my mom when she lashes out or says crap about me that isn't true. But as for those that, are open and they get to know me, uh, they're a lot less likely to be so deceived. They find it very difficult to believe my mom once they see how my baby sister acts, and how she's kind of demanding, and they see how I act and how I'm always trying to be helpful and trying to just be nice because know who's having a bad day and how stressful things are. People just need a break, and then they see my mom favoring my baby sister and literally ignoring me. So they realize something's up, and I had no idea how many people realized something was up until I had posted it on Facebook because I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was so glad I did. Just to be able to realize I had that many friends and people that saw what was going on, it meant so much. To just not be alone. um, but yeah, I think that, my mom probably finds it more difficult to be deceptive about me than what it was with my sister, because my sister was rebellious, so it was easy to target her. As for me, it's uh, not so easy for people to believe her. But getting off track here. The thing is, my mom will manipulate things to play it off in a manner of what she wants to have happen or what she wants at that moment. She wants attention. She doesn't mind saying there's abuse. She doesn't mind saying there's manipulations in the family. She doesn't mind telling anybody that. But when it comes to being alone at home and her wanting some chaos and some drama and to lash out at somebody, then all of a sudden it's a whole new story. It's you were never abused. Oh, you just think you were abused, and you're just like so and so, and this and that, and the next thing. So it's what I mean. My mom will manipulate things. When I was younger, she could say that my dad was manipulative and abusive, and it played off well for her to be able then to say that if she wanted to, she could take us and leave anytime she wanted. Um, now I think about it, maybe that's why she got in the car with us when her and dad had a really bad argument. I mean, they were all bad, but these were like the really bad. She would just take us in the car, say we were leaving, and we never left. We just stayed there in the driveway. And it was like she was just mentally talking herself to go back in um, and not leave. So for all I know, that was just her way of saying we would all go with her because we all did get in the car with her. So, I don't know if that was also manipulation or if she just really wanted to get out. Um, you know, um, so yeah, that's pretty much about it. My mom doesn't mind admitting the manipulations and the abuse that goes on in the family. When it happens to her or my baby sister, or even how my baby brother was wronged. If it means getting her attention, but for some reason, if it's anything that was toward me, she'll just deny it altogether and act like I'm exaggerative and being a drama queen and being a liar. All the while, she's being two-faced. My story never changes. I don't all of a sudden say my dad was never abusive. I never changed my story. He was abusive, and uh, that was true. That's what he was, and he's still manipulative, and he's still an asshole. Um, my mom's story though will change. To one person, it's, oh yeah, he's manipulative. He's a liar. He's keeping secrets, and he does this and that. Um, and then to my face or my sister's, well, not to my sister's face anymore, but she'll still talk about my sister in that way, and she'll act like my sister thought our dad was abusive when he really wasn't. He was just a perfect father, man, and she just couldn't accept that. And she even accused my sister of trying to break their marriage up. Um, and I can't say my sister didn't ever try to, you know, do something to maybe help my parents split up, but it wasn't, done in such a manner that was like, uh, I mean, like, if she did, it was always just being honest, like, he's lying and he's abusing you, mom. Why do you stay in this relationship? He's emotionally abusive to you. He's manipulatively abusive to you. Why do you stay in this relationship? So if my sister ever did try to break up their marriage, it was only done like that. There was never her trying to plant little secret lies of trying to break them up. Uh, you get it. Some they'll plant secret love notes or this or that and the next thing, and really try to break people up. My sister didn't do that. She was just giving honest facts and asking why are you together. And I think that was something all of my siblings wondered. We didn't understand why our parents were together. I mean, they weren't happy. They were both always just trying to fix the other, and they were not happy. And both just very angry towards each other. It's very confusing growing up in an environment like that, and you're just wondering, why are y'all together? Um, so she'll accuse my sister of trying to, break their marriage up when my sister would just ask her simple questions. Um, that and, they've been having problems in their marriage long before I was even born, and, my sister was the second born, so clearly this was going on, even before she was born, if it was going on before I was born. So she can't honestly say that my sister wrecked up their marriage. Their marriage was wrecked up probably from the very beginning. Um, so yeah, so my mom will say whatever plays to whatever she wants at that moment. Uh, my sister is not physically here for her anymore to, lash out at. So, she'll still target her in a sense, though, and act like my sister's just a liar, and dad was never abusive to her, and dad was just a good little, good husband and a good father, and that's a load of BS. I'm like, what good father, just yanks their kids around and beats their ass wherever his hand lands, and just keeps beating them until he feels better or something? What kind of good father does that? And actually smiles about it, like he gets a kick and gets joy out of, punishing his kids. Uh, I mean, clearly he did. I mean, he didn't even give us reasons as to why he was spanking us. It just would be, what you did. And, there he is smiling while he's whipping her ass. It's very clear and evident then that it was not done actually to discipline us. It was done just because he got his kicks out of it. And for some reason, he used it as his way to cope with whatever he was going through. And that's not a good coping skill. Just like my mom lashing out her pain on one person alone to take all the pain that she feels. That's also not a healthy coping skill. That's not truly coping because it's not helping them heal. Um, they're still going through the pain and causing another pain. So just wanted to give another example as to how my mom, she'll play things to her benefit of what she wants. Whether it be the benefit of getting attention or the benefit of just lashing out and creating chaos because she feels like it. I guess. I honestly don't know how somebody could be so addicted to chaos and enjoy it. But that's what she does. So, just very two-faced, and two different stories there. Just a really big manipulation there. And it's sad and it's heartbreaking because, I don't change my story one dang bit. It's the same as it was before. It's because it's the truth. I'm not changing the truth. Um, yeah, that's also another true thing that, it was easier for her to use my sister to lash out at than what it is me. Either way, she lashes out at equal portion as she, did to my sister, but the difference is what other people will believe. In public, I'm sure there's some people that don't believe her, and there's some people that do. Um, I've seen some people react to my mom in a manner that's like, they don't even hear my side or even care to listen. They just hear my mom say, "Oh, she's that child," or "She's an angry person," and they immediately are just like, "Oh yeah," I'm just there to, bash me right in front of me. They don't even know me. And then there's other people that they, in their own subtle way, will, let my mom know that I don't believe your BS for one moment. They do it in a subtle, polite way to not, stir into her drama too, but they do it in a way to get their message clear all at the same time. I remember once when we were at Bell's, they're shopping so my mom and my baby sister could get their things that they wanted. Um, I think it was makeup we were getting, or shoes. Makeup and shoes, perhaps. My baby sister, my mom. I really don't shop at Bell's. It's too, to be honest, pretty for me. As I said, I wear a leather jacket and a bandana, so bells is not usually my style. Though they do have some nice things in there I like, but it's not usually my style in there. So my baby sister and my mom, though, they're all about their very pretty stuff, so they love bells. And I remember getting into a conversation with a woman in the line, and you know, as we got to the register, my mom said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I know she talks all the time. She'll just talk your ear off." You know, and she does that a lot actually. And most people just kind of look at her confused, and they're like, and they'll just say like, "Oh, it's fine," or sometimes say, "Oh, it's okay. I was the one doing all the talking, not her." Um, but the woman at the register, when she heard my mom say what she'd said about me while talking to this woman in the line, for I don't know, maybe 10 minutes at max. We were just having a very lovely conversation. I mean, um, and I would say I wasn't over talking the woman. I mean, she was definitely talking as much as I was, and prodding for more conversation. So, uh, you know, um, yeah, and then, as we got to the register, we come to bells often enough that, the uh, cashier, the woman at the cashier, I guess, recognizes us. To be honest, my sister used to work there when she was still associating with us, so the cashier did know who we were. I'd assume. I can assume my sister didn't talk about my mom from time to time. I mean, her and my mom are so much alike, and my mom talked about her a lot, so I can only assume my sister talked about mom a lot, quite a bit too. Just I remember the cashier woman looking at my mom and goes, "Well, that's funny because that's the first time I've heard her talk." And she said it in such a tone of voice, like as if to say, "Don't BS me, woman. You guys come here all the time. She's the quiet one, and this is the first time I've heard her talk." And she'd probably be right. I usually don't talk so much in public, and it's really hard. Because I know my mom and my baby sister don't want to talk with me. They just kind of shun me and ignore that I even exist. So I just keep myself and keep quiet. Because it hurts trying to talk or conversate, and people just literally ignore you. Um, you know. So she would be right about that if she said that I was quiet and this is the first time she heard me talk. Because that's what happens if I even get into a conversation with somebody. My mom immediately will shame me and belittle me, just as she did there, and try to make me seem like I'm just some person that just never shuts up. So I can't even talk because when I do, I'm immediately put down for it. Um. So yeah, I'm getting off subject again, but yeah. Um. Some, as I said, there's people like that at times that will just immediately shut my mom's remarks down with their own remark. Um. And then some just immediately play into her remarks, and they don't even know me. Just one small remark, and that's it. It's like if I'm honest, it just sometimes feels like they too like to play into drama as much as my mom does, so they take up any opportunity they can. So when my mom says, "Oh, it's that child," or "Oh, she's just always so angry," they immediately just latch in there like a leech and just suck out that energy and, like, suck out all the positive and just create this negative environment. And it's really sad. Um, so yeah, there's some things, like I was saying, other examples that my mom will change the story to manipulate it into whatever she wants to play into that moment, whether it be for attention or to create chaos. Um, or to, just to play into drama by humiliating me, just so she can, in a sense, lash out at me in a more silent way in public. Because she can't scream and yell in public, someone's gonna call the cops. So she does it in a more subtle way, in public, just to humiliate me and embarrass me and belittle me. Uh, you know, so those are just some ways she plays into or changes her story just to get what she wants at that moment, whether it be to create drama, chaos, or get attention. And you know, that's also an example of the different reactions from people in public, society, uh, between me and my sister when my mom reacts the way she does. Um, you know, people mostly didn't second guess when it came to my sister, mostly because she was rebellious and that was clear. But all the same, it's more difficult to keep people believing a lie when the person you're lying about isn't showing any of the characteristics you're talking about. I mean, kind of like my dad, it was easy for my mom to, be manipulative to lash out at him because, well, he is an asshole. It was easy to, play manipulative games on my sister and, claim that she's just a spoiled brat that wants what she wants because she was rebellious. I, on the other hand, always try to do things as peacefully as possible, and I'm not really demanding. I mean, I'm a pretty chill person. I mostly don't mind doing what other people want to do. There are very few things that I really do want, and I admit when I do really want something, I try to make sure I get that, and that's only because I hardly don't get anything I want. But for the most part, if I just want it, but not like really want it, I just let it slide. I really don't care. um, so yeah, it's more difficult for her to play her lies off of me and manipulations, and accusations onto me because I don't even nearly fit the characteristics. Um, and so I'm not saying that it means my sister's a bad person. I think she just needs help. As do I think my mom needs help. My dad, on the other hand, I'm not even gonna nearly anywhere try to kid calling him a good person. I mean, he's just plain an asshole. And very narcissistic. So I'm not even going to go there on that one. My sister, though, I think it's just she was rebellious, and I think she needs help. But I don't think she's a bad person either. Um, and I think my mom needs help. And just because you know, saying that, yeah, I think my characteristics is all in all, I am a good person. I don't think that means I'm perfect, though. I am saying though that because my characteristics are more, you know, trying to be kind to people, it makes it more difficult for mom to get other people to believe her. Uh, Especially for those that get to know us well. Um, when you hang around a person long enough, you start to, notice little signs of deceptiveness or, uh, stuff like that. In general, I think most people have got that sense to know that something's off or someone's lying to you. Um, yeah, when we're around people long enough, people have started noticing. Um, yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Just that example and having ADHD, so I kind of just ramble on in all a bunch of other areas without meaning to. Um, but I guess there are important things that I'm talking about, even if it is just my ADHD rambling on somewhere else. Uh, yeah, but I'm done now. So you have a good morning, a good afternoon, or good evening, and goodbye now.